Beginning of 2023, Ian from Drennan sent me a couple of 1.75 test curve dedicated barbel fishing rods. Now for me that's a perfect size, 12 foot, 1.75 test curve. It's pretty much all I use when I'm static fishing. Typically on a 1.75 test curve rods, I'd be using weights of up to 4 ounces, so it'd either be feeders or leads. Also using reel lines of anything from 8 to 12 pounds, which is recommended strains for that size rod. It's absolutely ideal for me. I typically use 12-pound line on slightly bigger rivers and 10-pound line on the slightly smaller rivers if they're not too snaggy. So for me, they're the ideal size. I do quite a bit of fishing in the evening and nights, like after work. So with the Hi-Viz Tip, for me, it's an ideal attribute for it to have. Full cork handle makes it look really nice and smart, you know, and a nice olive green finish on the blank as well. It just looks like all round nice looking rods, and I've managed to put it into practice and bullied it around for a little bit, but it's done really well and stood up to every test so far that I've put it through. So since receiving the rods early this year, I've put them through their paces on various different rivers, various different fish as well. So from some really powerful fights on rivers like the River Rother during my challenge, to coming onto rivers like the River Wye and going through numbers of fish. You know, I've had to contend with some pretty hairy situations where I've come out on top. No problems with getting fish, from stopping them from going under trees, from going into weed beds. I've had a couple of instances where they have, and the rod again has stood up to the test. And as I say, that's exactly what I expect. That's one of the most important tools in angling, is to have a rod that you're confident in. Now the rod isn't necessarily available in just that one size. It's also available in 2.25 pound test curve as well, which is ideally targeting bigger rivers, your likes of your Trent, the Ribble, the Thames. You know, places where you've got much bigger flows and you've got potentially some much bigger fish as well. They're capable of casting weights of 5, 6, 7 ounces as well, and they've also got bigger capacities of casting line as well.